Oppo's latest Reno series of smartphones is here, and this is the Oppo Reno 11 Pro 5G. It comes with a beautiful matte finish body, curved screen, a triple camera setup, 80 watts of Super VOC charging, and powered by the MediaTek Dimensity 8200 chipset. Remember, the Reno branding is not stylized like this, but actually like this. Don't ask me why, it's just the way that it is. So how's the new Oppo Reno 11 Pro 5G? Let's find out in today's video, starting with the chipset first. This chipset is interesting to me and to a lot of you guys as well, because we all want to know how much performance the MediaTek Dimensity 8200 can actually give out, because they have been improving over the years by quite a lot actually. So we tried out with Genshin Impact at the high graphical preset, not the highest but high, and it's actually quite good. We can get somewhere around at least 40 FPS I would say, and it is just impressive to see this kind of performance coming from this phone. Remember, the Dimensity 8200 is still considered to be a kind of mid-range chipset here, and with this level of performance, it is truly magnificent.
Let's light it up! Here comes the couch. Here grab the finale and step. Everybody stand back! Fuse is lit!
Now remember that in our previous videos, we said that Oppo does not allow games to be ran above 60 FPS, even though those games like Subway Surfers for example can clearly run above 60 FPS. Actually, that game does not have any FPS cap at all. Well, that still is the case right now, by default at least, but we can head into the settings menu to fix this. So once we force the game to run at 120Hz, we can finally get 120 FPS in this game. It's a simple fix that Oppo could have implemented early, but I really do think Oppo needs to enable 120Hz by default for more games, so we don't have to do this for every single game that we try to play and play detective work to see if the game actually works with it. But how's the battery life then? Well, this phone has a 4600 mAh battery, which isn't the largest, and the battery life is rather disappointing, I would say. Using our standardized battery life test, we can find out that this battery can actually last for about 10 hours and 40 minutes only, and I kind of expect it to run at least 11.5 hours here. So yeah. The charging time though is another thing that I'm rather disappointed with. You see, this phone does come with a 100 watts Super VOC charger, and of course it is proprietary. You have to bring their own charger and cable to actually fast charge this device, so you cannot use anything else. It will take around 37 minutes to charge this phone from 15% to 100%, and I would say it's rather fast in that regard, but remember, this phone can only take in 80 watts from that 100 watts charger. However, this phone does not support USB PD standards at all, and at most what we can see here when we plug into our Ugreen 140 watts GAN charger is 13 watts according to our new tool here. Yes, this is disappointing, especially if we want to fast charge the device while traveling. We will have to bring their charger and their cable. Remember, because it's proprietary, nothing else will work with this Super VOC standard. And when we plug in to our USB PD charger, it will still take around 85 minutes to charge from 15% to 100. Yeah, that's really long. And speaking of the battery, I want to move on to the software, because this new ColorOS 14 operating system does bring a few new features that are related to the battery. First, we have a brand new battery booster description here that takes up half of the screen, and it looks more like an ad rather than anything else. And I cannot tap on it or do anything with it. We can also see the battery health, which is a really nice thing to have, and we also have two more new charging options too. One is to make the phone learn your behavior to control how the battery is being charged. Hopefully it is smart enough to actually fast charge when I really do need it. And another option is to outright stop charging at 80% battery. And one of the new favorite features is the ability to auto-censor the profile picture and name of the screenshots that I've taken in Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, and all of those things. That's actually very convenient to have. However, there are a lot of ads. I think it is even more than before actually. You see, the list of pre-installed apps now go all the way to the second half of the screen. And not only that, ads are now even found in system apps like the Game Turbo toolbar that we pull up while we are playing a game. And you see, there's an ad there. Oh my god, I don't know why this is happening, but it seems to be getting more and more by the day. And there are a few more new features added here and there too, like cropping out a subject from a picture by just tapping and holding it, and yeah, you can just crop it out. It's convenient, but the accuracy seems to be a bit iffy, I would say. And since we're talking about photos, let's take a look at the cameras of this phone. It has a triple camera setup, one main camera, one ultra-wide, and one telephoto camera. Thank you Oppo for not including a useless depth sensor anymore. Yay! But when I look at the telephoto camera, I thought this was a periscope lens. Turns out, no, it's just a standard pancake lens with 2x optical zoom. And they just added a line there to make it look like a periscope lens. Yeah, I got tricked. Either way, let's talk about the main camera first. The colors and clarity look good and the overall image looks decent. Personally, I do prefer a bit more dynamic range since the darker parts are really dark and some pictures like this are just extremely bright for no reason. This applies to pictures taken indoors and outdoors actually. Now, the ultra-wide angle camera is the one that I'm most concerned about. It has the same exposure and brightness problem as mentioned when we are talking about the main camera, but the clarity of the ultra-wide angle camera is just not that good. The picture does look a bit fuzzy. It's not the worst, but it's still a little bit fuzzy. And then the telephoto camera. This is actually the best camera out of all three for this phone. The exposure and colors, I do think that it looks great for this camera. And when it comes to night shots though, it's a completely different story because out of all the three cameras, the main camera will be the best for night shots. The ultra-wide angle camera does take decent night shots, but yeah, the telephoto will take some weird looking night shots. I mean, take a look at the windows here. Oh, we should also talk about the selfie camera this time because this phone has an auto-focusing selfie camera and the quality coming out of it is actually quite good. I'm not much of a selfie guy here, but hey, it looks good to me. And then the design. This phone has an elegant design with no sharp edges or corners. Everything is rounded and I really like how well this design goes with this grey color here. The sparkly matte grey finish at the back looks really amazing. However, I'm just not a fan of this camera bump. It's a waste of space and it could have been a lot smaller. Also, the thickness of the camera bump is really thick. Okay, how's the screen then? Well, it's a 6.74-inch OLED screen with up to 120Hz refresh rate and 1412 by 1080 pixels in resolution. The screen quality is pretty standard actually. We get 100% of sRGB and around 97% of DCI-P3 color gamut coverage with a very low delta E number, and the maximum brightness is at around 800 nits. Nothing too spectacular or out of the ordinary here. I think the screen overall just looks really good. What I'm concerned about though is the curved screen. Yes, it looks nice and also feels good to hold, but finding a screen protector for this type of curved screen is difficult. It's just impossible to use any sort of tempered glass screen protector, and the only ones that we can use with this kind of curved screen though is the usual film screen protector that doesn't feel good to swipe on, or hydrogel, which is more resilient but it's not gonna last that long. So yeah, if you want to know more about screen protectors and what kind of effects it actually gave, then do watch our video at the top right corner there. Yeah, we have a video about screen protectors. And we still have a few more things to talk about the Oppo Reno 11 Pro 5G. It has an IR blaster at the top, a USB 2.0 port at the bottom, and that also means no display output over USB-C, and also no audio jack. What we do have though is a dual SIM card slot, and there is no micro SD card slot, so do take note of that. Okay, finally, should you buy the Oppo Reno 11 Pro 5G? Well, I couldn't answer that now since at the time of filming, we do not have the price yet. I'll leave that for future me. Hi, we just returned from the launch event of the new Oppo Reno 11 Pro 5G, actually the entire Oppo Reno 11 series, and also the Oppo Pad Neo, and also two more earbuds. I'm not gonna talk about that in this video. And This phone here, the Oppo Reno 11 Pro 5G, is priced at 2,499 ringgit, which to me, I still think it is lower than what I expected. I kinda expected it to be a lot more expensive, but hey, it's good that they price it at 2,500 ringgit, even though the competitors are slightly lower in price, but for what it has to offer, I'd say, yeah, this is an okay phone. And if you get it early, you can get some bonuses as well, so I'll leave all of the details on the screen here for you to see. And yeah, you can actually make a purchase of this phone right now. And that's all that we have to share with you about the new Oppo Reno 11 Pro 5G. If you have any other questions, then do let me know down in the comment section below. And remember to hit that like and subscribe button, as we are aiming to reach a higher number of subscribe percentage. Thank you a bunch, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.